Welcome to the ITIL 4 Service Configuration Management Practice e-learning from One World Training. This is one of the 34 practices in ITIL 4. It is also part of the bundled certification named Plan, Implement and Control, which is made up of 5 practices. We would like to start by first acknowledging Axelos and PeopleCert for the information that we have used from their practice guides. About One World Training. We are a global training, business simulation, and training company having offices in the USA, the UK, the Netherlands, India, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, South Africa, and many other countries globally. We provide training in IT, business management, project management, ISO standards, GDPR, and many other topics for individuals as well as organizations. One World Training delivers courses in 5 different ways. 1, it's a public classroom based. 2, online virtual learning from home or work for you. 3, e-learning, which is self-paced. 4th, it's a mix of self-paced e-learning along with support whenever you need. And lastly, on-site for private and government organizations. We are authorized and endorsed by leading global professional bodies. And as you can see, we have put some of those logos for those bodies and the courses that we offer. About the exam itself, the exam is for 30 minutes. If you're writing it in a language other than your spoken language, which the system would detect based on your profile information that you have filled in earlier, then you would get 25% additional time or 38 minutes in total. The exam will have 20 multiple choice questions. Each question is worth 1 mark. You need to score at least 13 to pass the exam. There are 3 types of questions: the standard multiple choice. You may also have a negative one, meaning it'll be a question such as which of the below options is not correct. So that's called a negative. There is no negative marking in the exam at all. And there are also very few list questions. List questions means from the given 4 options, you have to select 2 options and then pick up a combination answer for the 2 options. Again, it's finally a multiple choice only, wherein you need to pick up one of the 4 final choices listed. It's a closed book exam. It is also invigilated. It is online proctored. We have a separate recording that explains how you can book your exam using the voucher given to you from us, and also how using the same exam voucher you can also arrange to get access to the practice guide ebook for this practice, and also how we can have the bookshelf app installed and have the practice guide available locally in your bookshelf app as well. Let's understand a bit more about the exam. The Bloom's taxonomy of learning and testing has 6 levels, and the exam will test you at levels 2 and 3. Level 2 is whether you understand the concepts, and level 3 whether you can apply the concepts properly. There are no level 1 or basic recall questions. For example, in the ITIL Foundation exam, you will have level 1 and level 2 questions, but here we have level 2 and level 3. This is a view of the entire certification scheme for ITIL 4. We can see here at the bottom we have ITIL Foundation, and at the top we have ITIL Master. To obtain the ITIL Master, you need to finish the ITIL Practice Manager certification, plus the Managing Professional and the Strategic Leader. To obtain the Managing Professional, you need to obtain 4 certificates on top of ITIL Foundation, and those are Create, Deliver, and Support, Direct, Plan, and Improve, High Velocity IT, and Drive Stakeholder Value. To obtain the Strategic Leader qualification or certificate, you need to do 2 certifications on top of ITIL Foundation, that is Direct, Plan, and Improve, and Digital IT Strategy, or Digital and IT Strategy, that is. So which means the Direct, Plan, and Improve is common to both the MP and the SL certificate. Now, you don't have to write a separate exam to obtain the MP certificate or the Strategic Leader certificate, because as I just explained, you need to obtain the remaining certifications that I mentioned. Now, there's also the ITIL Practice Manager. For that, you need to obtain the Create, Deliver, and Support apart from Foundation, but also you need to pick up any 5 from the 15 practices listed in the Practice Manager column. Or apart from these 15 practices listed here, you can even pick up any of the practices listed under extension modules particularly the business relationship management and the IT asset management. As you can see, the bar at the bottom, the ITIL foundation bar, doesn't extend for the remaining two extension modules, namely acquiring and managing cloud services and sustainability in digital and IT. So those certificates will not help you to become the practice manager. Now, another thing about the practice manager certificate, you can, as I said, you can pick up any of these 17, any 5 from the 17 that I just mentioned. Or you could do even one bundled certification such as monitor, support, and fulfill bundle, which is made up of the 5 practices shown at the top there. Or you can do the plan, implement, and control certification bundle made up of those 5 certificates shown below it. Or you could pick up the collaborate, assure, and improve bundle certificate made up of the 5 certificates shown underneath it. And if you achieve all of these, you will become ITIL master without any further exams. If you have any questions regarding these or would like to pursue other certifications, do get in touch with us at One World Training. The learning outcomes. Every practice certification is made up of these 7 sections or modules. It always begins with understanding the key concepts of the practice or the basic concepts. And there are several of them in every practice certification. Then we move into the 4 dimensions for each practice. So we begin by, like, number 2 is understanding the key processes and a bit about the value streams. And for each process, we will deal with the activities, inputs, and outputs for each. And usually there are somewhere between 2 to 4 processes in each practice. And similarly, here we have 2 processes to deal with. Then we also have number 3, which is going into the organizations and people dimension, where we will particularly focus on the roles in this practice and the competencies needed very briefly, and also the organization structure needed to establish this practice. Then we will be doing number 4, which is the information and technology dimension. We will particularly focus on the automation tools. Then number 5 is about understanding the roles of partners and suppliers in this practice. For example, the dependency on partners and suppliers in this practice, and also what they could do to support this practice. The number 6 is related to the ITIL maturity capability model. There are 5 levels there. Level 1 is where there is no maturity, but the maturity begins from level 2 onwards and extends to level 3, 4, and 5. So you'll be understanding what do those levels mean. And the number 7 is how to apply the various recommendations for the practice success. Usually these recommendations range somewhere between 5 to 8, and we will see how many are there for this practice. So the subsequent recordings after this recording for introduction to this course are very much in line with those 7 items that I just mentioned, and they are mentioned here as well. The key concepts of service configuration management, followed by covering all the 4 dimensions under 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then concluding with number 6, the practice capability and development, which is about the maturity model for the practice, and number 7, the recommendations for practice success. And also want to let you know that there are 2 official sample papers from PeopleCert, and we also have them for you in your e-learning access. You can find them in the form of PDF files for the question paper and the answer explanations for both for sample paper 1 and 2. We also have for you recordings for both sample papers, and also we have for you online simulated mock exams using a timer. So you have 3 methods to practice the official questions: 1 through the PDFs, 2 using the recordings that we have separately for you, and also 3 using the mock exams, which are timer-based simulated, that is. And please remember that these certifications in ITIL are valid only for 3 years. And if you can renew them within the 3 years, well and good. And you can renew them conveniently by doing another certification before the end of the 3rd year, anytime. And by which this certificate will extend until the validity period of the new certificate that you obtained. So if you continuously do this in a timed way, then your certificates will never expire. There is also another way to renew your certificate, and we have a separate recording for all these methods of renewal of certificate. And that method is that you need to do 20 hours of contribution to the practice, to the ITIL world, either through attending trainings or writing articles or mentoring somebody. So it's called the CPD system, the Continuing Professional Development Units system from Axelos and PeopleCert. So that recording will clarify how you can renew your certificate, either by doing the PDUs, the CPDs that is, or by obtaining another certificate. I mentioned PDU because some exam bodies use the term PDU, such as professional development units, and the CPDs here are very similar to the PDUs.